The $1,000,000 question. The question I get, well, actually not that frequently, just maybe once a video or so, is like, where are you now? West Coast, the East Coast? Are you in Canada? Did you somehow get your boat to Japan? I was van to Japan, but you would take it on a boat. That's where my brain was, but that would be awesome. Some company reach out to me. I'll go to Japan in the van, pay to ship it over, or we'll switch vans. A Japanese van dweller can come hang out in this American dream machine. Ford Econoline 150, amazing. It's the true American experience. And I'll get in like some Toshiba van. I don't know if they make vans or not, but that would be sweet. We could live in those capsule hotels. How cool would that be? But this is all a big distraction. Where am I? We're in the van. You know, I never came up with a name for the van. I thought of doing that. I think most of the time you name ships or something, female name. Can't think of anything for the name. I mean, you could come up with a meme like it's the TARDIS or something like that, but couldn't come up with anything good. But anyway, we're in the van. Get all the comments on the latest videos. Where's the van? What'd you do? Are you still in the van? And it's like, yep, here's the van. Here it is. It's so hot outside that you can't film much in the van, and I'm also kind of out of like things that I think would be interesting in the van. And so you can hear the air conditioner blasting, which is not good audio. You don't want to listen to that all day. In fact, if this was a breaking news segment, then the transition between the crystal clear sound of my good microphone, my good Blue Snowball microphone, you know, it just doesn't. I do a lot of audio tuning, and people like to hear my beautiful and sultry voice. But you know, now it's tarnished by the overpowering nature of the air conditioner, and that's just so I'm not like completely red. There have been some videos where I filmed in the van in Florida, and by the end of it, I'm bright red, bright orange, sweating. I have to get like a napkin or something off the side to pat down, like oh my god, take multiple takes. That's no fun. You don't want to see that. So I'm trying to think of some more stuff to do van related. Gotta let me know. You gotta know what, I've probably already asked this before, but let me know what you want to see. Any videos like that. Of course the IKEA stuff is always popular, but kind of out of ideas on what to do. Like I have some ideas for like higher end IKEA videos. That's like a huge, like I'd have to get like the workers there in on it or something like that, and you know, it's a lot of work for somebody who's also doing a lot of irons in the fire, if you will. I haven't even shaved today. Gotta shave. Gotta go hit the gym. So what I have been doing to beat the heat is go up into the mountains, keep driving. If I'm driving, then the air conditioner's on anyway, and I just drive through. You know, for the first year or so, I was like, you can't turn the car on when you're parked. That's cheating. That's not allowed. You gotta have the fans in the back. You gotta have the overhead fans, ventilation. That's how you do it. And then I think it was like, I don't know, maybe one of the RTRs, or no, it was one time when I was in Florida. I just sat in the cab here with the air conditioner blasting for most of the day, and it didn't burn a lot of gasoline. I mean, go figure. If you're not moving, it doesn't burn a lot. It was just working the compressor. And at that point, I was like, shoot, it also works as another generator too. If I'm not getting sun, like at this year's RTR 2019, it was overcast for like 3 days. Didn't get enough electricity to power everything, power all the office equipment and to the fridge. So what I did is I took the AC adapter from the fridge, plugged it into the AC outlet right in the van here, ran the van for a few hours, and you get the AC. It's really nice, actually. You know, it's those little things that you miss. I don't care what YouTube video you watch, you'll never beat the heat for van life. You have to move. You have to drive somewhere else. Like, that's the thing. That's the cool thing about being like mobile and stuff. You can just go with the weather wherever it's nice. People say California is nice all year round. One, it's too expensive. Two, no, it's not. It's not nice all year round. It's still hot. They're like, oh yeah, I can walk to the store, and yeah, but you're still breaking a sweat, and it's still. I mean, I grew up in Florida, where it's arguably one of the hottest places in the country, but the reason I'm so pale is because I never went outside, because it was too hot to do anything. You know, I'd be a football jock if I lived somewhere else. If I lived out in Utah or lived in Montana, You know, because the weather's so beautiful. You're just out there. You're out there doing sports. Can't do sports in Florida. You die. I also think this is a hot take, but and maybe epigenetics doesn't work like this. I mean, it's a generational thing with multiple iterations. But I definitely think where you're raised has an effect on your body type. I think that's one of the reasons why I've always been skinny, even when I've eaten junk food. It's not necessary. I mean, my parents are pretty average, skinny on the skinnier side, I guess, and you know, things like that. As you get older, you always get bigger, but I definitely think it has something to do with just having to beat the heat. Your body like acclimates. So you're like, well, I'm not going to carry around all this, thick fat as insulation if it's 100 degrees outside and the humidity is 2,000 degrees because you're going to die. So I think there is something to that. Watch me be vindicated years later. I've never seen any studies on this. In fact, I've seen one about the opposite, where it's like, you know, they did the Monarch mind control program where they implanted memories through that, and they could track how like monarchs have an innate sense of their environment, of where their parents moved. It's epigenetics, like goes through the lines. You can pass down information as well as like heritability of like how tall you are and things like that, like your natural biological quantities. Like information is also passed as well, to at least some degree. So I definitely think there's something to be growing up in Florida. And I'm trying to remember if there were a lot of overweight people that I grew up with. There were some, but they did like me and stayed inside all day. You don't go outside, like you melt off weight. And there's too much oxygen in the air, actually, which is not actually good for you, because the way you age is the telomeres of your DNA. Pretty sure that's the word for it. They slowly degrade as they go through reproduction, and the way that they degrade is through oxidation. So oxygen is arguably a cause for aging. Arguably. At least a component to it. So maybe you age quicker in Florida. It's also so hot, you just cook. Maybe if you were in the Arctic, you know, it preserves your body more. I don't know. Those are some hot takes. Why don't you ponder those for a while and get back to me. Leave it in the comments. See if you've ever heard of that, or if you just think I'm crazy. Because I'll tell you now, I am crazy. But probably not on this. So, basically, what I do is I drive around to different places, going to like different client things. Like a few months ago, I had something in Montana. The time before that, I had another thing in Arizona. And then I do a lot of work in Seattle. And so I'll bump to one or another things. Montana, Colorado, I did one in Wyoming. And most of the time that's like providing drone footage for commercials, or just extra cameraman, or marketing, things like that, or consulting, things like that. It's always a lot of fun. I've been meaning to do some type of like how to make money on the road thing. And in fact, a friend of mine reached out months ago now. He wrote an ebook with a resources guide of like all the different places to find remote work. And I think a great video series would be going through like each section of it and giving you my thoughts on how to do that, and like seeing what the resources is, and then like a link to the actual book if you want to look at the full thing, because I'll mostly be going through over what I know. But if you want to see the full thing, you know, that's what the ebook's for. I've been meaning to do that. It's on my backlog. It's gonna get done, because that's always a very important question. And in fact, that's probably the number one question I get. It's like, oh, what do you do for work if you're on the road all the time, if you're traveling? And it's so easy to do a lot of stuff these days. Just if you have internet, and everybody has internet. I mean, I'm in the middle of the mountain somewhere, or in the middle of the Arizona desert, and if there's not 4,000 people with vans also there, the Verizon service is still really strong. I'm getting 4 gigs in the middle of a mountain. I went up to the Smoky Mountains, and I was at the top of the mountain. It was like a 2-hour drive on a dirt road, like going up the mountain, things like that. I had 4G service. Crazy. You could live your whole life out there, you know, away from the government, and you'd never be found unless by drone strike. Give that 10 years. But I've been meaning to do a video on that. I think that'll be something that is in the pipeline. I have all the prep work for it. I just gotta sit down and do it. I'm gonna film it maybe give you like a live reading of my reaction and things like that. And then I'm going to check with my buddy, make sure I didn't give out too many trade secrets. No, I'm just kidding. What's cool about this book is that it's not like a novel. You're not going to read like stories and stuff. It's more like a resource guide. So I could even give you 90% of the content in the book, and it's still worth it as a resource if you want to invest. I think it was like $10. It's nothing. But I think that's a good thing of content to do. And then what's cool at the end of that, or maybe before that, I don't know. I talk about all the work that I do myself, which is, we've talked about this before. It's a lot of different like marketing, consulting, media production, distribution is a big thing. Breaking news. This is a Blazer breaking news update. This is interrupting your normally scheduled program to, just kind of a touch base of what I'm working on right now. It's going to be really exciting. I know you can hear the excitement in my voice. Where have I been? I've been lucky or just busy. We had a bunch of clients come through these past couple months. I think what's the word? I proposed contracts, or I was in talks with about 5 different companies, got 4 of them, 3.5. And so it's very exciting. So I've been doing a lot of work. What do I do for work? I do marketing, media production, and distribution. Most of the time, that's from the van. I've been lucky enough right now that I've been in the pseudo office that I'm renting, and I've had the time and the luxury to actually sit at a computer with 2 monitors. Actually, there's 3, but that one's set up to the laptop I normally use. Right now, I'm using the desktop, my old one. This is like 10 years old now, but it still runs everything I need perfectly fast. It's super awesome. It even runs all the games you could ever want at mostly max settings, but it definitely needs some upgrade. Look at the dust. It definitely needs some upgrades, and you can see all the wires and nasty stuff down there. I need to fix that up, make it look pretty. But you can see I've just been working on some different revenue projections and different things for different clients. These are not my revenue projections, by the way. And you can see, like, what I've done is I've redacted the names so you can't see what channel it is. I'll give you a hint. Some of these channels in the vlog you might recognize by the numbers if you can figure out who's who. This is a friend of ours. This is somebody that you're probably familiar with, at least. Probably some of these other ones too. Right now I'm working with a political client, and so you see most of them are political or philosophy, and you can see subscribers, views, different averages for, what type of revenue you might be able to expect. Let's see what else we got. If you have a Patreon, different targets of projections of like where I could recommend I could get somebody in maybe 6 months, 12 months, 8 months, starting from scratch. Most of the times with a client, they're going to already have a media presence, and so we're not going to be starting from zero. So I tailor this specific to each client that I'm working with, and then we can see monthly gross, yearly projected things. Is that a fly I just saw? But you can go down here. What's really cool is what might you see with the averages for a standard YouTube channel. You can see I've already gone away with the things, but you can see like subscribers, views, floor. Oh, it's right here. The floor, ceiling, averages, conversion rates if you're selling something or doing ads, things like that. And then, of course, we track it all in the analytics. This is a page that I think this is the one I own, actually, that I have the analytics up, and you can go through Facebook and see. They're all pretty cool with, let's go to followers. I should be using OBS to just capture the screen so you don't get like this staticky stuff, but it's easier like this for me. You can see that with this type of thing, it's very volatile. So I'll like lose 2 followers, gain 1, because it's, it's meant to do that. It's meant to just generate evergreen traffic and cycle through. It's not meant to like contain, but you can see page followers as of today, about 11,000 rounded up. That's pretty cool. And then of course you can always go, this is a super secret. This is cutting edge. Nobody shows you YouTube analytics, but I just put out this video today. Incredibly engaging content because I haven't put out a video in like a month. I know I'm slacking. I know you guys. I know, but this is
This is kind of a video to help you show like what I've been working on, what I'm doing, so you don't think I'm just sitting around doing nothing, just sitting around in the van all day, burning up in the heat. But you can see I just posted this a little bit ago, so it's doing a little bit under average. You can see here's the range of stuff, but yeah, pretty neat. YouTube has a lot of cool stuff, and if you've never done YouTube before, you can see an editor. Whoa, who's that handsome dude? Wow, he's really charming. I really like, here's some behind the scenes of this video. I really like the song that I used in here. I can't play it because I don't have speakers on this computer. I just have a headset, but it's a really good sound. It's from DJ Quads. That's where I get a lot of my music. It's all public domain, not public domain, but free music. So this is a hike we just went on. It's pretty cool. I liked it. Good views. Got some good comments already. People like, we miss you. Where are you? And I'm just like, I know. I'm sorry. But yeah, here's the LinkedIn I had open. LinkedIn is really popping off right now for marketing. If you do B2B at all, or even B2C, you're really going to want to start putting out some just organic reach content. You can go follow me on LinkedIn if you want, see all the stuff I've done. Although it's not updated at all. I haven't updated it since 2016, which is when I started my own business. But there you go. Maybe I have to blank out these names. I don't know. Probably not, because they're all people you might know, or if they're just random people. I don't know. But yeah, so you can see here, just all the different type of stuff. You can see all the stuff I'm working on. Oh, how did this get here? I don't know what this is. I don't even know. Minecraft. What's that? I don't understand that at all. If you know me, I don't go into those video game things. I don't know what that is. I don't know. Oh, here's cool. Here's like a workflow thing of like what you might expect with like a boutique marketing thing that I do, where example workflows, just social media marketing type stuff. There's the email. There's a email, I should say. That's not the one I put out publicly. I guess it's public now. But you can see some of that. That's kind of neat to look at. If you need some of these services, just let me know. I don't market it a lot because normally I'm just swamped with work. And as you can tell, I don't have time even for a lot of videos. But, I'm always open to new opportunities and things like that. But these prices are probably going up because I'm just so busy. Anything else we got? Let's see, what else am I? The Daily Dose of Gary Vee. I don't know if you've ever seen him, but he's kind of a marketing business dude. I like his stuff a lot. I take inspiration from all his stuff all the time. It's great. It's pretty cool. All right, now back to your normally scheduled content.
And the problem is, I love all the strategy stuff. That's what's really fascinating. I love getting all the pipelines and the workflows and the algorithms down. But then actually just going through the monotony of scheduling posts and posting videos and things like that, that's so unengaging. And I'm one of those people that's addicted to novelty seeking. I always have to be doing something different, which is why you don't see a lot of the same exact videos on the channel. Because if it's not interesting to me, I can't convey an excitement in the videos and make it exciting for you. Like, I could do more, and I probably will do more on electrical systems on the van, because that's still very new to me. It's still very new, but like, there's only so many times I could do a video of like how to prep your car for the snow or something like that, just because it's like, it's out there, it's already there. I need like something new, something novel, which is why I have so many different hobbies and interests and things like that. And hopefully what I'd love to do, and this is only with your guys' blessing, if this is something interesting, is maybe share a little bit more about the things that I like on the van channel. I mean, it's not like named Van Life Vlogs, it's it's my name, so I guess it kind of encompasses all of that stuff. And I've taken a lot of inspiration with Gary Vaynerchuk, who's a marketing business CEO, really extroverted, awesome guy to watch his content. But he loves sports and baseball cards and garage sailing, and he's put that on all of his main channel. And it's kind of, what's cool about that is that all of your different interests come together to form like a skill stack of like different things. Like I'm probably the only van guy who also knows how to do marketing in the way that I do, and then also is interested in World of Warcraft. I don't know. Like, I'm not going to put that on the channel, but that's the sort of thing. I guess I want to try and bleed my personality more into different other things that are still related. I mean, it's still the life on the road and the life of a nomad, and I think that's it's a very attractive lifestyle for most people, and maybe it's a little bit of you get to live vicariously through someone who's doing more adventures, and I'd like to show more of the stuff I'm doing, but a lot of it's just like computer work, and that's not super exciting. But I think there would be some excitement in how I do my work and how I make money, because then you would figure out like, oh, okay, so this is pretty doable, it's pretty neat, and giving an inside scoop would probably bring me more clients. Not that I need that, but it's funny showing how the sausage is made and saying, look, you can make your sausage at home yourself, you don't need to buy from me, actually gives you a lot of trust and like provides value, and that's the main thing. So yeah, I'm thinking of doing more different types of things. I've had like 2 or 3 videos on like hiking. I don't do that a lot, as you can tell by how pale and winded I am just walking up a 20-degree incline. That was kind of filler content, I suppose. It's not like clickbait. It's more like for people who, I don't know, just want to hear my beautiful voice. I'm also thinking of trying to get out some more regular, easy produced content. If you look at all my videos, they're incredibly in-depth edited, lots of cuts, lots of effects, things like that. So if I could come up with something like a podcast, which I've been saying I wanted to do for the past, I don't know, since I started, it's probably like a broken record. Maybe I can do Blazercast, Blazer Update, the weekly Blazer Update, which is funny. I never would have guessed. I never would have picked that as a nickname, but I like it. It's cool. In fact, I watched there's a really cool World of Warcraft fan video about, and the hero, the protagonist name was Blazer, and I always thought, I was like, that is a cool name. And now to have people call me that is like actually pretty sweet. It's pretty cool. I like it. I like it a lot. So I don't mind doing that. Certainly can't wear the blazer in this heat. I've talked about that before. I feel like half of my videos are just me complaining about the heat, but that's what's on my mind right now. And in the summertime, that's what's on a lot of your guys' mind too, I'm sure. So maybe the Blazer weekly update, where I talk about things that I'm doing. We can have different segments. Maybe we do a van video of the week, or the tiny house video of the week, where we go through and we can do a live reaction to that. Break that in the clips. Find it on an RSS feed. I'm gonna try that this week. I'm gonna record one this week and see what I can come up with. And if it gets, let's say 250, if it gets 250 views, and which is not a lot, or like 50 likes or something, or like 50 comments or something, I'll keep doing it. If there's any type of good positive reaction. But I got to know what you guys want to see, and I determine that from the view count and the comments and the likes. Most of my videos have like a 95% upvote ranking, so that's good. There's a few that are like down into like 55, because I titled something "My First Houseboat," and people were like, "Oh, I wanted to learn how to buy a houseboat," and it's like, that's not what I titled it. But I could see how you would think that, and it's probably the YouTube algorithm that's recommending it from that type of content. So, you know, fair enough, you know. And I did use a picture that wasn't my houseboat, so things like that. But I think that's a good video. So if you like that video, go back and thumbs it up, so I'm not in the 55% upvote ranking. And then there was one that I didn't do well. I could tell that I didn't do it well. It was the how to program your MPPT charge controller. Basically, the moral of the story was that you have to look at your manual to figure it out. I know, it was like an 8-minute video to tell you that moral of the story. And people were like, oh, that didn't tell me anything. I was like, yeah, I know, because I can't tell you what each specific thing is, and I don't want to be liable for breaking your thing. I'm going to redo that one sometime for sure, because, you know, I'm not happy with that, but it's a work in progress. There's all these things that are like building up on things that I'd like to do that eventually will get done. Let's brainstorm some more ideas for the podcast, or whatever video series this is going to be. So the name really isn't important to me. What is important is like the branding. So I could go 2 ways with this. I could keep it like Blazers weekly update, or I could do something like I did make the little brand Nomadic Life on Instagram. It's kind of cool. I haven't used it in like since January, which is really a problem because I'm spending money on it and I'm not getting barely any return because I'm not spending any time on it, which is unfortunate. I haven't been marketing it all. I've kept it like completely separate from the YouTube channel for the most part, except for like a few like links in the description, and nobody clicks those really. So I could do like Nomadic Lifecast, where, but then I can't have a bunch of like my personal content on it. I think it's really a tough call, but let's talk about like what I could think I could fill up like an hour a week with. I could give updates about what I'm doing if you're interested in that. That could be a smaller segment. You could skip that part of it if you want. I could do like cool gadgets for under $100 that are like van life or nomadic life related, or tiny houses or things like that. I mean, like, here's one. Yeah, I keep this in the dashboard. This is a little solar charger. I actually got this one for free, but you can find them on Amazon all the time. This is from the Airline something Pilots Association. It's not ALPA. I don't know what the O is. Official. But it was born in 1939. Not this thing, because this is new. This is actually pretty cool. It's a little solar battery bank that you can have. I mean, those are cool little gadgets. I can't imagine this would be more than like $30. And it's got a cool I think it's dead now, but oh no, here we go. You just can't see it because it's so bright outside, but it's got a light and everything, which is cool. I don't know how to turn it off. I normally just have to wait for it to die. Oh, there you go. Can you see that? That's blinking. That's like a strobe light. Can't really see it. Oh, that. Can you see that? Yeah, you can see that. This is riveting content, I know. Little product reviews like that, and then put like a link to them in the description, and people like that stuff, right? What else could I do? Like a weekly recap of what's going on in the tiny house van life YouTube area. Like a cool video of the week. I'm like, where we break it down and we go through like what I like about it and maybe what you would like about it and things like that. And then that's a way to give like smaller people more views and more traction, more outreach, things like that. What else could I do? Let me put this armrest down. I don't know. I'm open to ideas for that. Not too much research. I kind of want to do it off the cuff and maybe give my opinions on some things, and then I don't want to do like all of my best videos are videos where I've done a lot of research on it before, and that just takes so much time, which is why there's like one video a month now, which is just, it's not acceptable. It's really dropping the ball on that. What could we do? I don't know. I'm really open to some ideas on what you might want to listen to or view, and then I'll probably also record a video portion of it for when we splice in videos or skits or bits or anything like that. And then it's also something I can put on YouTube, because I mean, I've done podcasts before, completely unrelated, and I've been like guest on some and things like that, and normally it's just like a still photo or a waveform of the audio, and that's not really engaging. You kind of want to also watch it. My favorite ones are like Joe Rogan or like the Gary Vee Experience, where they have a visual component to it as well, because I like to watch them. I watch everything in 2x speed, so like an hour podcast will only be 30 minutes. Sometimes with podcasts, I'll even do like 3x speed. I think the max I ever got to was 4, and that's for something where it's not really technical. It's more like just a conversation podcast on an interesting topic, and I'll listen to that. So it's weird. Anytime I go and watch a video, I can't watch anything live because it's too slow for me. It sounds like they're talking like this, because I'm used to at least double speed. So I can never watch anything live. I always watch the recordings. Like, people do live shows on YouTube all the time. I just have to wait till it's done because I can't watch things at 1x speed. Gotta get that ADHD. I don't know. I'm open to options. You know what is actually kind of an interesting observation is that I feel I'm actually, and this might be weird, I don't know. I actually feel more creative when I'm in the van. Or rather, when there's limitations put on me. If I had a big studio, which, eventually I'd like, but if I had a big studio of stuff, all the supplies and things you need. It's just, I kind of sit there and I'm like, well, what content would I make? Whereas like in the van, there's nothing to do all day. You're almost dopamine fasting when you don't have a lot of stuff on purpose. Even you don't get distracted by it. Now clearly I have unlimited internet access and a computer, a whole setup back here, so I'm on that most of the day. But when I'm not, it's really liberating, especially I did the video about dopamine fasting before, and I did get a comment recently that's like 2 hours is not enough for that. It's true. It needs to be like, ideally you do a 48-hour dopamine fast, which is basically cutting out all stimulus. No TV, radio, phone, no text, no sweet drinks, no coffee if you can do it. Things like that. And it kind of resets all of the stuff. It goes back to, I think it was Penn from Penn and Teller, who went on the potato diet. He lost a lot of weight eating just potatoes. And you're like, that doesn't make sense. That's all carbs and starch just turns into sugar. That's like eating soda. And it's like, yeah, that's true. But what he did is he reset his palate. So we get used to all this saturated fat, food, and salt and sugar. There's a great book on that called Salt, Sugar, and Fat, which you should definitely read. It's all about how the FDA is basically a corrupt organization, and they were just bribed to say that saturated fat and fat in general is bad for us, when in reality sugar is the main killer. And guess who supplied all those studies? The sugar lobby. Yeah, go figure, right? That can't be. That's a conspiracy. You're a conspiracy. But it's great. So he reset his palate. So pizza is just too salty, too flavorful. When after like 2 weeks of potatoes, and he cooks them in all different ways, you know. He tried to avoid French fries for sure, because I mean deep fried and fat, and that's pretty salty by itself. But like, just put a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper, maybe some spices on a baked potato. Eat that. Eat just potatoes for 2 weeks, and tell me if you can still go eat a deep dish pizza from Papa John's. It's gonna be really hard. I mean, McDonald's is gonna be like so much, and that's what, unfortunately, so many of our diets consist of is fast food and processed food, and that's the worst for you. You don't want to do that. I've been pretty good about eating, just not eating enough. I've been fasting too much, actually, because it's fun. I like it. It gets you shredded, but now I look really tiny in clothes. Like, look how small my arms look. I look good shirtless, but that's for another video. Maybe I'll make another channel for that. But I'll start a Patreon. I'm gonna sell my van bathwater. That's a good one, right? Maybe that only works for Bella Daphne. Where was I going with the potato thing? Oh, dopamine fasting. Yeah, so I feel more creative in the van just because there's kind of limitations put on it. Like, so many people are like, okay, I'm gonna buy all the best equipment and start a YouTube channel. You have the best equipment. It's your phone. The phone you're watching this on right now. Yeah, I see you, Rick. No, I don't know. That's just a random name. But 80% of all internet traffic is on your phone, and that's probably even more now. That's an old statistic. Your phone camera, 1080p is fine. That's all my popular videos were filmed on. Like, as I got better equipment, my videos got less views. Now, that's probably a lot of other factors, but it goes to show you that a phone as a camera is not a limiting reagent. In fact, the major reason why I got the Sony a6300, which is a $1,000 camera, is not so much for the own quality of the videos, because this phone can do 4K. It's the fact that when I was getting gigs, and professional photographer, if you will, I'm not really, but I get paid to take videos of commercials and stuff, so I guess it's professional. But it looks bad. It looks unprofessional to use your phone to film things, unless you're doing a live stream or something. But it's totally good to use that. In fact, in many cases, I won't even bring my good cameras. I'll just bring my phone, because it fits in my pocket anyway. I'm bringing it anyway. Famous photography saying where it's the best camera you have is the one you're going to use, the one you have with you. And for me, and for most people, that's always your phone. So feel free to use that. That limitation makes you more creative, I think. And I think it shows with a lot of the more popular YouTubers and the popular video people. Like, it's always the scrappy people before they get too much fame and money and expense budgets. That's kind of when their content goes stale, at least for me. I guess the secret is to always make the content that you want to watch yourself. Make the business that you want in the world, or something that scratches your own itch, proverbially. But the problem is I don't watch a lot of like tiny house van life stuff. I used to a lot before I did it myself. But now I don't, and there's like two things to that. One is that I'm like living it, so I don't really need to watch a lot. I watch some of my friends' videos every once in a while. But you probably already know them all. Two, I kind of want to keep all my stuff like more original, and I feel like the inclination is to copy, even subconsciously. So, I mean, I don't consider them competition because we're not doing the same things, but I do kind of consider it competition in the sense that we fill the same genre. So I don't want to do like derivative work in that sense, and I know that sounds really pretentious. I don't mean it to be, but that's kind of how I'm thinking. I kind of want to like just zone out anybody who could ever be perceived as like similar content, so that I can focus on trying to do completely original things. Like that's how I got the idea for the IKEA stuff. A lot of cool things. Like I didn't watch how to install anybody's. No, I did watch somebody's how to install solar panels, but nobody was doing it with Velcro. So I was like, hey, that's a novel idea, and things like that. So what else did I do? I did watch Into the Mysteries foam cabinets, and we saw how that turned out. One of them still works. The other one we lit on fire. Go watch that video. That was fun. We did a strength test of this new foam type material. It's like a fiberglass mesh mixed with like a paper mache. Really interesting stuff. Very strong. It could support my weight for something like that. Although the cabinets I didn't design it properly, and it warped, and I couldn't use it. And that's why I got the IKEA cabinet, which turned out to be much better, in a much better video. But it was a fun experiment nonetheless. But like I said, I haven't watched very many since I started on the road, just to keep up with my buddies, see what they're up to every once in a while. I'll go maybe like once a month. I'll binge like an hour or two of just watching all my friends' videos, things like that. I'd go follow all those guys. Now we've got kind of the light coming in. As you can see, I'm slowly rotating the camera this way just to try and get out the. But see, now I'm not even. Well, I'm in the rule of thirds right there. So maybe that's a good pose. You can feel like you're sitting in the seat over here and hanging out with me. Yeah. So make the content that you want to watch. I don't know. You know, I'm pretty interested in the off the grid living stuff, and I feel like that's a wider range of audience than just the van stuff, because the van is like a subset of like survivalism or traveling, nomadic lives, things like that. So I could do that. That would be a lot of research though, but it is interesting. I'd love maybe something that talks about like in the news, like what new legislation they're passing for off the grid living and things like that, because they're always cracking down on that. They don't want anybody that's not completely plugged into the system, I didn't want to use the word system because that's kind of larpy, but you know, you need to be that cog in the machine to fit in with everybody, to be well adjusted in society. You know, that's why, you know, you can find everything's a mental illness now. Oh, you don't like going to parties? Well, yeah, that's because you're antisocial. We're gonna take away your guns. I'll cut that part out. Or I should anyway. I probably won't.